Well, you know, you can at least hand me a towel for crying out loud. This is Dorothy Wilhelm, Swimming Upstream radio show, and I'm all wet. This is not good. Well, anyway, this is our trick or treat edition, our Halloween edition of Swimming Upstream radio show. And since everybody in the world has terrible problems today, we're going to invite our guests for this series. If they have problems that they would like a solution for, they can just give the problem and somebody in the audience will solve it. We have confidence in that. If they don't, well, the person goes with their problem unsolved. What the heck? So anyway, somewhere around here, I lost my dear friend, Ray Miller Still. Let's see, there he is not.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry. I hope it didn't scare anyone at home. I know my visage is horrifying.
Go back and do it again. That was really fun. Anyway, so we're going to do trick or treat because, everybody here. So the idea of generation gap is to look at how different generations celebrate or observe or handle different problems. Do either of you have problems today? Of course not. No. But I am part of the, what generation do I belong to?
The silent one, ironically.
The adorable generation. And we are the ones that followed the rules. We don't much do it now, but we did do it. So I think a little protest here and there might not have been a bad thing. Now, dear Ray, what is your generation and what in the world are you doing here?
I'm a millennial, which means that we don't follow the rules and we do complain. And if you think we're bad, wait until Gen Alpha starts to enter the workforce. They're fun group of kids.
And what is the big thing that you're noticing these days about your generation compared to others?
We don't follow the rules, certainly. But we are also now approaching, I believe, the second generation and the boomer generation is we don't understand the rest of the generations, and we are becoming sticklers, and I hate it. It's not fun. It's not fun to watch my generation turn into curmudgeons.
Yeah, they'll turn into your parents.
Yeah, not happy about that.
And dear Jason, what is your generation?
I'm a Gen Xer, and we never cared because we were just thrown out in the yard and told to drink out of the hose and don't come in until dinner time, and nobody cared about us, so we didn't care about them. That's how we lived. Yeah.
Well, that was pretty bad.
Turned out
but
fine.
You know, we all drank out of the hose. I don't think any we had little green bugs in our water. We did not have. Living in Montana, we didn't have running water. We did not have electricity. When you did, you could get the water from the pump, but it had little green bugs in it, and so it was. You wanted to pay attention at least.
Yeah, just pick them out of your teeth.
So, Jason, would you say that your generation is cynical?
Very much so. That's probably the number one word that I would label my generation as, is cynical. Yeah.
Because you've been here, you've seen it all, and frankly, we're not.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, we were also sort of forced to be self-sufficient. So when someone comes in and says they have a big idea or whatnot, yeah, whatever, we don't care.
Now you don't do that to me. I noticed.
He's wiser than that.
I've learned some decorum over the years.
That's really good. Well, let's just see. Let's start with co-host Ray. And in the first place, is the reason going out trick-or-treating this year?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And we will be going door to door. Unlike, I know a lot of people. No, we will be going through our neighborhood. Both Catherine and I have very fond memories doing that. We would like to make sure that Brent has that opportunity, and if he doesn't want to do that, then that's fine. We'll go find something else. I mean, we do close downtown here in Enumclaw, and we'll go down the street and the people line up and see everybody else's costumes. But it is a very bland event, despite everyone showing up. There's something about going out at dark with a small group of friends in an area you thought you knew, but you absolutely don't. Now that the sun is down, and you're like, where are we? That was always that creep factor when we were growing up. I think is quintessential Halloween, and we're missing that right now because everyone is scared all day long.
Of course, but now what costume is your young man going to wear?
Ooh, yeah. We're not too sure yet. Yesterday he wanted to be a skeleton, but that's because he saw a skeleton, so that was what was on his head. Today he said he wanted to be a mouse from a particular comic series, which means a lot of work for his mother in sewing that.
Of course, yes. That's what they like. They like, really to be a lot of effort. What did your kids like, Jason, when they were teenagers or kids?
Well, my son and I both are big sports fans, so he was pretty easy because he always had a baseball uniform or a football uniform or soccer jersey that he could throw on, and he could act like his favorite, sports hero. My daughter, on the other hand, I think one year she was a bumblebee, and I think another year she was a girl. Lots of princesses, lots of Disney princesses. But yeah, they weren't too hard. We didn't have any crazy costumes because my daughter she was pretty resourceful, and she would go through mom's closet and pull out jewelries and hats and things like that and just kind of decorate herself, and it was all perfect.
More dressed up. I love that.
Yeah.
That's really great. And I was commented too, because that was when sugar rationing ended. And so there were treats. There weren't up until then. If you wanted to make cookies or something, you had to collect your ration cards for quite a while. So, but my older daughter, now they used to take my kids to take trick or treat big until the year that Elaine made the horse costume, and she a basket for trick or treat in her mouth, and she was able to talk her brother, who was ordinarily smarter than that, into being the rear of the horse. Now, here is where the problem is. No one treats the rear of the horse. They only put a treat in the front of the horse.
Now, when did you say sugar rationing?
Yeah. 52.
Were you in the UK around that time?
No.
No, because that's when it ended in the UK. In the US, it was 47.
Well, apparently we had people to get up.
No, that makes. I mean, you were, definitely rural. But yeah, apparently, I just looked this up because I was very intrigued by why the war would end in 42, but then sugar was 10 years later. But it was definitely one of those traffic supply lines that was more damaged than a lot of the others. So that's fascinating to me.
Well, what I gather from that, because I don't exactly remember, that was a long time ago, is that because I do remember that you could bake cookies and things like that, but you couldn't bake a lot of them. You couldn't be like, we like to do enough to send out. So I think that although the actual rationing may have ended, and see, I don't remember. 52 is what I remember, but that we could, you could get some sugar, but we didn't have it so that we could go out and go trick or treating and all that kind of thing until later.
Honestly, I think we can all do with some sugar rationing right now.
Yeah.
Everything is so sweet.
I was gonna say we went the opposite direction with my generation because by that time there was no rationing, of course, and I mean I could eat sugar with a spoon out of the bag and nobody would care. So fortunately, I didn't go that far. I did eat a lot of sweets when I was younger, but I didn't eat it out of the bag.
Everybody loves sweets. That's very true.
Well, it depends on the sweets. And now, I guess since we're talking Halloween, does anyone have a particular candy that they just go nuts over?
Oh yeah, Reese Cups. I'm a Reese Cup guy. I love Reese Cups.
Classic. I've never had one.
Really? Well, never
a what? Oh. Well, my son.
I don't want to be a ghost on Halloween. Too on the nose.
Good thought.
My son brought me Hershey's mini candies, little bars, and I've eaten them all already. They were supposed to be for the trick or treaters, and
That's
so
the danger of buying Halloween candy early.
they were really good. They were. Does anybody have a Halloween memory? You either learned something or you didn't. Those are the two choices.
I learned that I can't get away with anything because I'm a ginger. I'm a ginger first and foremost in people's heads. You can't really see in the dark, but like my beard is still pretty fiery red. My hair's gone a little more auburn. My whole head was like my beard when I was younger, and I loved Harry Potter. I did a whole lot of fancy stuff, Lord of the Rings, a lot of Lord of the Rings, Gandalf costumes, but also like when Harry Potter came out and I finally got into Harry Potter, I was like, I'm gonna be Harry Potter for Halloween. And everyone said, wow, what a good Ron costume. I have the scar. The scar is right here. I am not wrong. But nope. No one commented on me being Harry Potter. Everyone thought I was wrong. And I really got my goat.
That's funny.
It really is. It's a lot of fun. Now, next question becomes, do you think kids have as much fun at Halloween now and I don't think they do.
I don't know, because they don't know what they're missing. And so I know with my son, of course he's 20 now, but when he was trick-or-treating 10 years ago or whatnot, we went to a specific neighborhood where most of his friends lived. It's like one neighborhood over, and it's a relatively safe neighborhood. He would go around to so many houses, and then he would meet at his friend's house, and they would go through their candies and trade and load up on sugar and go home and go to sleep. So I definitely think they still have fun. They probably don't have the type of fun that we had, because when I was probably 12 or 13, we would go around and trick or treat and get candy. And then we would go out and egg our teachers' houses. That was our big thing. We were mean. We were up to no good. So
I never did anything like that for Halloween. I was a trick or treat and get candy, but we'd be out all night, us and our friends. Like we would not be back until past midnight, and we would have been walking for hours, and we don't stick to one neighborhood.
Well, my kids, I guess, were pretty tame, all things considered. With there being 6 of them, the little ones were kind of shepherded along by the bigger ones, and then because the little ones got more candy than they could actually have, so the big ones would get to have their candy. Yep. But it was all neighborhood, and so you didn't worry as much, I think.
Right.
Now, our Halloween experiences are a bit different, but one thing that's constant across all of them is we get our share of their candy, right? There has always been a parent tax.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is absolutely, I think, still a constant.
For sure. My kids would actually come home when my then wife would take them, or they would go out with friends. They would march in the door saying, "Dad, I got you 10 Reese cups." Like they knew I was going to take the other one that I like are sugar daddies. So they would pull those aside for me, and they knew that I was going to get a portion of their candy. So they knew ahead of time.
I'm going to have to be really careful searching sugar daddies on Google.
Yeah, you probably it's
like a sugar daddy's candy. Let's do that.
A little ball of caramel.
Yeah. Okay, I have seen these. I don't think I've ever had one of those either.
Yeah, no, they're good.
They're really awful.
They're not good for your teeth, that's for sure.
Have you had the the Mexican candy, the ones that are really spicy? Those are fascinating.
Yeah. Like
they're blue, aren't they?
We have a version of them in the States, hot tamales and things like that, but that's not as good as real Mexican candy, just like it's not as good as real Mexican Coke. So but yeah, I've had some of those before.
Yeah. Very unique.
Sounds to me like if you had those, you wouldn't share them anyway.
Probably not.
I still love Warheads. I love my sour candies. And they don't really make those anymore. I have to go to the dollar store. That's the only place where I can find my Warheads.
Yep. I was never a sour guy. I liked the sweets and the chocolates and stuff like that.
It's the gummies for me. Give me some gummy sharks, some gummy bears, the gummy frogs. I really like these, and they don't make these anymore either. But it was like there was a hard shell of candy on the outside, and then Nerds in a ring on the inside, and then a gummy ball in the center, right in the very middle. It was a candy that hit all of my wants and needs all in one little ball, and I stopped making that too. Damn it.
And I don't know why. I mean,
It just didn't test well.
Oh,
I guess, like, it just didn't sell well. I think it was about a year they were selling these, and then they were gone. I was like, well, I got to find a new favorite candy now.
Yeah. I did, as an adult, I did this as a guilty pleasure a few years ago. I, for some reason, was having a conversation with someone about Halloween candy, and they said, I miss candy cigarettes. And
yeah.
certainly, you know, there's very good reason why they don't typically market those anymore. But when we were kids, we had these little sugar sticks with a pink paint on the end to make it look like it was lit, and they were candy cigarettes, and they were delicious. Well, I found a manufacturer on Amazon or somewhere that still sells them, and I ordered like a case of them. And so I had candy cigarettes in my house for about 6 months. And so got to kind of roll down memory lane and have my candy cigarettes. But certainly I don't think they should be marketed anymore, but they're still delicious.
Yeah, I don't think we can argue about that.
I found there was a candy shop in Seattle at the Seattle Science Museum back when I was a teenager that sold candy cigarettes. And as soon as I saw them, I pounced. I was like, this is going to be my one opportunity to try a candy cigarette. I'm going to take it. Yeah. I do that with a lot of foods. I'm like, this is my one time to try something that is going to be unique or terrible, and I'm going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just that kind of guy. Remind me to tell you about blood pho one time, speaking about scary food. Yeah, even my Vietnamese friend was like, don't do that. I'm like, I'm doing it. Totally regretted it. Don't do it.
Speaking of scary foods and Halloween candy, have you ever done the mystery jelly beans, the little game where you say, is this caramel or does it taste like dog doo-doo?
The Birdie Bots ever flavored
Yes.
beans. Oh yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. Made a lot of enemies in elementary school with Birdie Bots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids tried to get me to play that game, and I'm like, nope. If it looks like a jelly bean and it goes in my mouth and it doesn't taste like a jelly bean, people are going to lose limbs. So let's not do that.
And did any of them actually lose limbs?
They didn't, because I never tried one. I knew what they were ahead of time. They didn't trick me. They just said, this is what the game, it's a risk. You're either going to love it or it's going to be disgusting. And I'm like, I'm not putting anything disgusting in my mouth. So no, I'm not playing.
Well, now, what about Halloween party games? Did you do Halloween party games?
I was just about to ask, has anybody bobbed for apples ever?
Yes.
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 Okay, I'm loving that this stereotype is actually like true. Excellent. How do you do it?
You just stick your face in a bucket of water. It's got apples, and you try to bite into it. And
but I feel like Jason, you would have a disadvantage right now because you've got this shield that would keep you from really latching onto an apple.
I didn't do it when I had a full beard. I did it when I was 11. You know.
All right.
What kind of a beard did you have at 11?
I didn't have a beard at all at 11. So I was good.
Were you surprised when it came out?
The beard?
Yeah.
No, I tried to grow a beard for a long time, and I had these two little patches on either side that wouldn't grow. So I was forced to just do a goatee for a long time. And then once those patches filled in, I'm like, okay, now I can do the full beard. And I've had a full beard ever since.
You can see Jason's full beard at swimmingupstreamradioshow.com.
That's true.
You will have that on there so people can see. Well, we used to bob for apples, and we would push them. We did it at Grace Baptist Church. That's in the days when I wasn't Catholic yet. So right away you got some stuff going on. And so also we had the one, have you done the one where they put an apple on a string and you have to bite across the room? And the idea was that pretty soon you would go through the apple and you would get to kiss one another. Now, we were not enough to work that out. We never worked that out. But
I didn't play that game.
I just found the cutest church girl and kissed her. I did not need an apple for that. I did not need the excuse.
Oh, you missed that part.
Yeah, no. I was known as the church bicycle.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know, the church bicycle.
Yeah.
I see.
The look on your face.
But you know, the reason, and I did get to where I liked Halloween because, and living overseas in Taiwan and in Bangkok, kids would come for trick or treat, but they didn't get the whole. Why should they? So they didn't costume or anything, but they did come with a bag to receive candy. So that worked out pretty good. And everybody loves kids at Halloween, I think. But for me, Halloween, it's really, really awful. Really, really, the kids loved it. That's fine. But then, as I was saying, it was 1952. I know that was my first year trick or treating. We had just decided, a bunch of us, we would go trick or treating. All silent generation. We didn't know that, but we were. But anyway, what happened was they didn't have displays in stores for trick or treat, and they didn't have the costumes weren't in stores. You made your own and skipped it or whatever. But we decided, and we were all. See, I must have been 18, 17. So we're finishing up, with that kind of thing. And we went to a house. It wasn't decorated or anything, but it was a nice looking house. And we went there and knocked on the door and said trick or treat. And this nice man came to the door, and he didn't seem to know if they had any trees. And he said, well, he would go and look. And he was gone a while, and he came back and he said, well, he said, our daughter died this morning, and we don't have any trees. And he said, I'm really sorry, you'll just have to go ahead and do your tricks. And
wow.
That is 80 years ago. But you don't, it really affects, because all your life then you remember that for somebody, that there's the other side of the other side of the coin. So now that I set that up for you, Ray, say something.
Okay. Well, I did want to ask about costumes. And did anyone have a formative memory around a costume? Right now, I do feel like most people go out and buy those costumes, and I wonder if I was one of the last generations of folks to really have homemade costumes when I was super young. And my grandma did make me a giant dinosaur costume, full body, tail, green felt, plus a cardboard box as a head with cardboard teeth and tennis ball eyes, and I hated that thing. And now that I'm it was so uncomfortable. But now that I'm like 30 and I'm looking back, 2 decades, I'm like, that was so cool. My grandma made me a full body T-Rex costume. That was so special.
I didn't have a costume like that. I always wore my pajamas. Because I would have like Superman pajamas, so I just put a red towel on as a cape and went as Superman. So that was my homemade costumes for those. We didn't have a whole lot of money to go out and buy costumes, so we made them.
Superman always was big, always. But in my day, we really looked down upon people who bought their costumes. You just didn't. I mean, you only bought your costume if you were just
really. I feel
So and now I'm really surprised, and I can see what the attraction is. But we always.
I just want people to get back into that. I feel like the homemade costumes just are fantastic. Anything you make by your hands is fantastic, whether it's costumes or food or what. I mean, I'm not going to make my own homemade candy for kids. That's a little sketch. No one's going to take my candy for that. So still stick with the store-bought stuff.
That's true.
Well, honey bun, we have here a note from our producer who says that we need to wrap it up, and I thought we were just having fun.
We are having fun. We're just going over what we're supposed to go over.
All right.
Well, all right then. Then everyone, next month, what we're going to talk about is staying fit. And when we know that I am almost 92, I really need to stay fit. I'm not bad for that, But anyway, so everybody should have a final Halloween wish or something, and Ray, some way to start.
Oh, just get scary with it, guys. Go to a haunted house. Go to a haunted house. That's my big advice. That's what it is for me. Going to the haunted houses. Definitely go get scared. Go get pretend.
Is there any chance you can bring a picture of you guys next time if you can?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I've got pictures.
Love tons. Yeah.
I would love that. That would be great. And Jason, what? See, I'm having so much fun. I thought we had 20 minutes left, and of course we never have.
No, I think my tip would just be to, be careful and have fun. It's Halloween's a lot of fun, but if you go into it being scared of everything, and even as a parent scared for your kids, kind of ruins the mood. Just have fun.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think being scared, because what you're doing, you're telegraphing to your kid that you're scared. And this is one thing, when we went overseas, I had never lived overseas before, imagine. And I was so terrified that I not only made out my will, we all had to do that. That was okay. And so it was, so I was afraid. And believe me, they were of two types. They either knew I was afraid, or they thought, I don't know what's wrong with her. She's, so it's better just to get out there and have a great time. And be sure and join us again next month at this very same time when Ray will have chosen what topic might
you said working out, staying fit.
Okay, thank you, all of us. It will be wonderful. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, and you'll be able to not only have this lovely notes. Notes are wonderful. I don't know what in the world will be in them. Well, this is it. I'm through. What did I say? Oh, yeah, that's Ray. That's Ray. We couldn't do anything without Ray because he's the generation gap. So we'll see you next time. This is Dorothy Wilhelm, and this is the Swimming Upstream Radio Show.